Good evening and welcome to the news at 10. Arab leaders wrapped up a one-day summit held at the Dead Sea shores and agreed to continue efforts to put the Middle East peace process back on track and support a political solution in Syria. In closing remarks, His Majesty the King thanked the leaders and heads of delegations for their effective participation and keenness to make the summit a success. The King told the final session of the 28th Arab Summit that boosting and institutionalizing joint Arab action is key to overcoming challenges and serving pan-Arab issues. Arab League Secretary General Ahmed Abul Ghait read out the final statement with the decisions and recommendations endorsed by the Arab monarchs and heads of state. This report has more.
The Amman summit concluded with His Majesty's closing remarks, thanking the Arab leaders for their efforts to make the high-profile meeting a success. His Majesty said all Arab issues were discussed in a transparent manner and that important recommendations and decisions were made. The King also thanked the Arab League and its Secretary General Ahmed Abul Ghait for his strenuous endeavors to reinvigorate the Pan-Arab Organization and its bodies. A final communique read out by the League's Secretary General stated the resolutions and recommendations endorsed by the leaders. Abul Ghait said Arabs would be ready to have a historic reconciliation with Israel in return for its withdrawal from land it occupied in the 1967 war. They said they would back Palestinian-Israeli peace talks to end the decades-old conflict if it guaranteed the creation of a Palestinian state alongside Israel. On the Syrian crisis, the Arab leaders stressed a political solution to end the suffering of the Syrian people and called for implementing the outcomes of the London Donor Conference and the UN Security Council resolutions. They urged the international community to continue support for the countries hosting Syrian refugees, calling for new programs to support these countries at a conference that will be held in Brussels in April. The leaders reiterated that Iraq's security is a key pillar of regional stability, voicing their full support to the Iraqi government in fighting Daesh and liberating Mosul from the terror group. They also called for supporting the legitimate governments in Libya and Yemen to safeguard the two countries' sovereignty and unity. In a joint press conference with the Arab League chief, Minister of Foreign and Expatriate Affairs Ayman al-Safadi stressed the resolutions adopted by the Arab leaders to achieve a lasting and comprehensive peace in the region.
The summit has ended with a message of peace. The whole Arab world is standing behind the Arab Peace Initiative as the most comprehensive offer yet to reach lasting and comprehensive peace between Israel and all members of the Arab League. It is an initiative, as you know, that offers historic reconciliation between Israel and the whole Arab world, and it's also an initiative that has been endorsed by all members of the Islamic Conference Organization. So, yes, it is a message of peace, and yes, the Arab world is willing to engage in serious, direct negotiations with a view to reaching a solution on the basis of the two-state solution, which we believe is the only way to achieve peace between the two parties. Yes, the Arab world are willing to engage, and we're looking forward to engaging with the new American administration on how we can work together to forward the efforts towards peace and to end the stalemate in the peace process. Also, there's a tremendous amount of coordination with the EU and with the other members of the international community. All of us realize that it is essential, it is imperative for all of us to create a political horizon that would address the root causes of conflict in the region, and the Palestinian issue is the key cause of conflict, and its resolution is the key to achieving an era of peace and stability. And everything in this region is interconnected. When we're talking about fighting terrorism, which is again an issue that the Arab leaders have stressed as a priority, we need to defeat terrorism. We need to annihilate terrorists, because they threaten our security, they threaten our identity, they threaten our people. They've killed more Arabs and Muslims than they've killed anybody else. But in order for us to succeed in that war as well, we need to address root causes of conflict, key central among which is the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, and then to look at other crises. We want peace. We want a peace that can last, a peace that can be comprehensive, And in order for peace to be lasting and in order for it to be comprehensive, it has to address the legitimate rights of the Palestinian people, and it is a peace that will ensure the emergence of an independent Palestinian state, and it will guarantee security, acceptance and normal ties for Israel with all Arab countries.
Saudi Arabia's Foreign Minister Ahmed Al-Jubeir said his country will host the summit in September next year. Hala Dababne for the News at 10.
His Majesty the King presided over the Arab Summit meeting at the Dead Sea after taking over the presidency from Mauritanian President Mohammed Ould Abdel Aziz. In his keynote speech, King Abdullah said Jordan is the closest to the Palestinian cause, adding that Jordanian soldiers sacrificed their lives defending Palestinian land, and the kingdom is aware of the daily struggle of the Palestinian people. He said the Hashemite custodianship of Islamic and Christian holy sites in Jerusalem is a historical responsibility Jordan undertook on behalf of the Arab and Muslim nations. His Majesty listed challenges facing the Arab nation and urged robust and concrete joint action to overcome them. Next is a recording of His Majesty's full speech with subtitles.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد النبي العربي الهاشمي الأمين أصحاب الجلالة والفخامة والسمو معالي الأمين العام لجامعة الدول العربية أصحاب المعالي والسعادة السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته وبعد. فيسرني أن أرحب بكم في بلدكم المملكة الأردنية الهاشمية إحدى الدول الست المؤسسة لجامعة الدول العربية، والتي لطالما كان العمل العربي المشترك القائم على مبادئ التضامن والتعاون والإيمان بالمصير المشترك في قمة أولوياتها. كما أتوجه باسمي واسمكم جميعا ببالغ الشكر لأخي فخامة الرئيس محمد ولد عبد العزيز على جهوده الطيبة خلال رئاسته للقمة العربية السابقة، وللجامعة العربية وكوادرها على جهودهم في الإعداد لانعقاد هذه القمة. كما أرحب بسعادة الأمين العام للأمم المتحدة أنطونيو غوتيريس، أصحاب الجلالة والفخامة والسمو. أمامنا اليوم تحديات مصيرية لدولنا وشعوبنا وأمتنا، ومن أهمها أولا خطر الإرهاب والتطرف الذي يهدد أمتنا ويسعى لتشويه صورة ديننا الحنيف واختطاف الشباب العربي ومستقبلهم. وواجبنا أن نعمل معا على تحصينهم دينيا وفكريا، فالإرهاب يهددنا نحن العرب والمسلمين أكثر مما يهدد غيرنا، وضحايا الإرهاب أكثرهم من المسلمين. ولابد من تكامل الجهود بين دولنا والعالم لمواجهة هذا الخطر من خلال نهج شمولي. ثانيا، تستمر إسرائيل في توسيع الاستيطان وفي العمل على تقويض فرص تحقيق السلام. ولا سلام ولا استقرار في المنطقة دون حل عادل وشامل للقضية الفلسطينية، القضية المركزية في الشرق الأوسط، من خلال حل الدولتين. والأردن هو الأقرب لفلسطين، فدماء شهدائنا ما زالت ندية على ثرى فلسطين، ونحن على تماس يوميا ومباشر مع معاناة الشعب الفلسطيني وأهلنا في القدس بشكل خاص. كما أن الوصاية الهاشمية على المقدسات الإسلامية والمسيحية في القدس مسؤولية تاريخية يتشرف الأردن بحملها نيابة عن الأمتين العربية والإسلامية. وسنواصل دورنا في التصدي لأي محاولة لتغيير الوضع القائم وفي الوقوف بوجه محاولات التقسيم الزماني أو المكاني للمسجد الأقصى الحرم القدسي الشريف. وأنتم السند والعون للأردن في هذه المسؤولية، فلا بد لنا من العمل يدا واحدة لحماية القدس والتصدي لمحاولات فرض واقع جديد، وهو ما سيكون كارثيا على مستقبل المنطقة واستقرارها. ثالثا، مع دخول الأزمة السورية عامها السابع، نأمل أن تقود المباحثات الأخيرة في جنيف وأستانا إلا انفراج يطلق عملية سياسية تشمل جميع مكونات الشعب السوري، وتحافظ على وحدة الأراضي السورية وسلامة مواطنيها وعودة اللاجئين. فالأردن يستضيف أكثر من 1,300,000 لاجئ من أشقائنا السوريين، بالإضافة إلى اللاجئين الفلسطينيين، ما يجعل المملكة أكبر مستضيف للاجئين في العالم، ونحن نتحمل كل هذه الأعباء نيابة عن أمتنا والعالم أجمع. رابعا، إننا نؤكد دعمنا لجهود الحكومة العراقية في محاربة الإرهاب تمهيدا لعملية سياسية شاملة بمشاركة كل مكونات وأطياف الشعب العراقي، تضمن حقوق الجميع وتؤسس لعراق مستقر وموحد. خامسا، أننا نؤكد على دعمنا لكافة الجهود المبذولة لإعادة الاستقرار والأمن في اليمن وليبيا، وتحقيق مستقبل واعد لشعبيهما الشقيقين. وفي هذا السياق لابد لنا أن نأخذ زمام المبادرة لوضع حلول تاريخية لتحديات متجذرة، مما يجنبنا التدخلات الخارجية في شؤوننا. والخطوة الأولى لترجمة ذلك هي التوافق على أهدافنا ومصالحنا الأساسية، بدلا من أن نلتقي كل عام ونكرر مواقف نعلم جيدا أنها لن تترجم في سياستنا. إن تحدياتنا مشتركة، فلا بد أن تكون حلولنا مشتركة أيضا، فلتكن هذه القمة محطة جديدة في العمل العربي المشترك. وفي الختام أتمنى لكم طيب الإقامة في بلدكم الثاني الأردن، سائلا المولى عز وجل أن يوفقنا جميعا وأن يسدد خطانا لما فيه خير أمتينا العربية والإسلامية. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
King Abdullah held a series of meetings with Arab leaders on the sidelines of the summit. His Majesty and Kuwait's Emir Sheikh Sabah Al-Ahmed Al-Sabah said they are keen to further cement the solid and historic ties between the two countries in various fields. The two leaders discussed the key issues tackled by the summit and the need to address regional crises. Emphasis was also laid on enhancing joint Arab action to safeguard pan-Arab interests. Separately, King Abdullah held a tripartite meeting with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. The leaders asserted the need to step up joint efforts and closely coordinate to restore momentum to the Palestinian issue as the crux of the Middle East conflict. They discussed relaunching the Arab Peace Initiative as a strategic choice to bring about just and comprehensive peace in line with the Amman Summit Declaration. The three leaders said efforts should be ramped up to revive serious and effective Palestinian-Israeli negotiations based on the two-state solution as the sole solution to the conflict. Emphasis was also laid on maintaining the historic status quo in Jerusalem, and the leaders warned any attempt to change the status would have negative repercussions on the security and stability of the entire region. The leaders also stressed finding political solutions to other regional crises. Also on the sidelines of the Amman summit, King Abdullah and Tunisian President Baji Qaid Sibsi stressed enhancing close Arab ranks and inter-Arab cooperation. They also talked about regional crises and efforts to fight terrorism as the paramount threat to regional stability. Separately, the King and Chairman of the Presidential Council of Libya and Prime Minister of the Government of National Accord, Fayez al-Sarraj, discussed developments in Libya and efforts to stabilize the war-torn country. King Abdullah and Speaker of the Algerian National Assembly, Abdel Qadir bin Saleh, stressed effective joint Arab action and coordination to find solutions to regional crises. King Abdullah also met with Omani Deputy Premier for International Relations and Cooperation and Special Representative of Sultan Qaboos, As-Sayyid As'ad bin Tariq Al-Said, who led his country's delegation to the Arab Summit. They reviewed Jordani-Omani ties and ways to bolster cooperation in various fields. The King and the senior Omani official also discussed key challenges facing the Arab world and the need to enhance Arab solidarity to address them. In their speeches, Arab leaders blasted Israel's settlement expansion and reaffirmed their commitment to the establishment of a Palestinian statehood on 1967 borders. They also stressed a political solution to end the bloodshed in Syria and strengthen Arab unity to address regional crises. The leaders voiced their support for Iraq to fight terrorism and defeat Daesh. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres and the European Union's top diplomat Federica Mogherini also addressed the opening session. Here's more.
Unanimous that the Palestinian cause is the central issue, Arab leaders reaffirmed their commitment to a two-state solution to the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas warned Israel against turning the conflict from a political conflict into a sectarian one. He said the occupation must end.
If Israel wants to be a partner for peace in the region and to live in security and peace alongside its neighbors, then it must abandon the idea that security comes with increased land grabs. It must also end its occupation and stop limiting the freedom and independence of the Palestinian people.
Abbas also said US President Donald Trump had invited him to the White House.
US President Donald Trump called us and invited us to visit him in the White House in order to discuss the ways we could propel the peace process. It was agreed that the US administration will move towards building peace between us and the Israelis.
Arab leaders urged coordination to resume the peace process based on international legitimacy resolutions and the two-state solution. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres described his endorsement of a two-state solution as the only path to ensure Palestinians and Israelis can realize their national aspirations and live in peace, security and dignity. The EU High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, Federica Mogherini, also emphasized the need of finding peace between Palestinians and Israelis.
A just and lasting peace between Israel and Palestine. This is and will continue to be a top priority for the European Union. A peaceful solution of this conflict, or even progress in that direction, could set a whole new paradigm for cooperation in the region, including on security. We firmly believe that the two-state solution remains the only realistic way to end the conflict and all claims. We would recognize changes to the 67 lines only when agreed by the parties, including with regard to Jerusalem. We all share a responsibility to contribute to peace together. The European Union will keep doing its part. Today, as we are still 28, tomorrow in the future, after the exit of the United Kingdom at 27, with all our determination and our strength, as the first humanitarian donor and actor, as a diplomatic power, as a security provider, as a force for sustainable peace and development, a force for respectful cooperation.
Also topping the list in leaders' keynotes was the Syrian file. Saudi King Salman urged a political solution to the Syrian crisis as the UN-led peace talks are underway in Geneva.
The Syrian people are still subjected to killing and displacement. This requires a political solution to end this tragedy and to preserve the unity of Syria and its institutions according to Geneva I and UN Resolution 2254.
Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said a political solution to the Syrian crisis is the only way forward. He said millions of lives are threatened with the growing danger of terrorism. While Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi said his government is determined to defeat terrorism. A large part of his country, he said, was controlled by Daesh, but has been liberated, and his government is seeking to impose the law on the whole of the country. Abadi also said Iraq began to return displaced people to their cities. Lebanese President Michel Aoun said the Arab League has a role to protect the Arab nation from all challenges, especially those of hosting refugees. Highlighting different Arab countries' efforts in hosting Syrian refugees was Emir of Kuwait, Sabah al-Ahmad al-Jaber al-Sabah. He said the international community is still unable to find a solution to the crisis in the Arab state, voicing hope that efforts of the UN envoy to Syria will succeed in achieving positive progress regarding the Syrian crisis. The UN Secretary General also had this to say.
It's time to end the fighting in Syria. I hope that the Astana process manages to achieve an effective ceasefire, and will do everything we can to enable the Geneva-based political talks to lead to genuine negotiation. By now it should be clear to all involved that while fighting terrorism is essential, any success will prove ephemeral without a political solution that allows the Syrian people to freely decide their own fate.
Moreover, amongst the highlighted issues were the crises in Libya and Yemen, where leaders stressed the need for political solutions in the war-torn countries. One of the most serious threats facing the Arab nation the leaders conquered is extremism and terrorism. Efforts to combat them by all means was the only way, they stressed. With pockets of instability marring the region, the need for concerted efforts and unified actions is at an all-time high. With not much to show for in the former years of Arab League declarations, hopes are and continue to be that this time is different. This is Dana Abusham for the News at 10.
Minister of Foreign and Expatriate Affairs Ayman Safadi held a four-way meeting with European Union Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini, Egypt's Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri, and PLO Executive Committee Secretary Saeb Erekat. They discussed efforts to breathe new life into the Palestinian-Israeli peace process. The top diplomats stressed the need to end the political stalemate and move forward on the basis of the two-state solution as the only avenue to end the conflict. The top diplomats agreed to pursue coordination and cooperation to reach this conclusion. Last night, the foreign minister met PLO Executive Committee Secretary Saeb Erekat. The two officials said the Palestinian cause is the core issue in the Middle East and stressed the need for progress towards finding a political solution to end the Palestinian-Israeli conflict based on the two-state solution. Safadi and Erekat also agreed that the Amman Arab Summit is instrumental in reinvigorating joint Arab action. Foreign Minister Safadi met U.S. President Donald Trump's Special Representative for International Negotiations, Jason Greenblatt. The meeting dealt with efforts to kickstart the Palestinian-Israeli peace process and ways to strengthen bilateral cooperation. The two also talked about efforts to fight terrorism and defeat Daesh. With that, we come to the end of tonight's special edition of the news. I'm Nancy Khair. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.